I'm with you today. I'm going to sing some songs, and I'm going to read a story to you. First song we're going to do, I happen to think that I was born and raised in the best time in this country, probably, because I was born in 64. And between 64 and 70 in the 80s, the music was the best. And we played outside and we did all kinds of cool things outside. And kids today, you don't even see them outside. And it's a sad thing. Well, I wanted to do a show for grandparents and little ones, and for young people maybe who have children and don't know much about their children. That's why I'm doing this show. Well, the first song I want to sing for you is a song called, it was written in 1958. It was done in a movie by Alfred Hitchcock called Sherrod, and it was written by Jay Livingston and Ray Evans. And I heard it from 1968 to 1973 with my mother. And you can watch the television show that it introduced every week called The Doris Day Show. It's called Que Sera Sera. When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. Will be. And when I was just a child in school, I asked my teacher, what should I try? Should I paint pictures? Should I sing songs? This was her wise reply. Que sera, sera. Whatever the future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. And when I grew up and I fell in love, I asked my sweetheart what lies ahead. Will we have rainbows day after day? Here's what my sweetheart said. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera. Children now, my own, and they ask their mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? I tell them, wait and see. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, the future's not ours to see. Sera, sera. What will be, will be. What will be, will be. And you can see that show, Doris Day Show. Yes, it's on Hulu. You can watch that. And you can watch it with your children or your grandchildren. You can watch it. It's about a single mom raising two little boys in the 60s, in the early 70s. And she has to deal with all kinds of things. It was a good, sweet show. This next song was written in 1969. I heard it. I was 5 years old, maybe 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old. My Aunt Sue would sing it. And It reminds me of my Aunt Sue so much, so I'm going to sing it for her. My Aunt Sue, I guess a lot of people have an Aunt Sue they love very much, a woman who's funny and kind to children, and that's the kind of woman she was. And this song is about my Uncle Johnny, kind of. But it was written by and done by Judy Collins, and you can hear her version of it. It's called Someday Soon. But it reminds me of my Uncle Johnny because he worked in the farms, and he came back. This song was done in the height of Vietnam War, and the boys were coming back home from Vietnam. There's a young man that I know, his age is 21, comes from down in southern Colorado, just out of the service, and he's looking for his fun, and someday soon, going with him, someday soon. My parents, they can't stand him, 'cause he works the rodeo. My father says that he will leave me crying, but I would follow him right down the toughest road I know, and someday soon, going with him, someday soon. When he comes to call, my pa ain't got a good word to say. Guess it's 'cause he was just as wild in his younger days. So blow your old blue norther, blow my love to me, please. Driving tonight from California, he loves that damn old rodeo as much as he loves me, and someday soon, going with him, someday soon. When he comes to call, my pa ain't got a good word to say. Guess it's 'cause he was just as wild in his younger days. So blow your old blue norther, blow my love to me. He's driving in tonight from California. He loves that damn old rodeo as much as he loves me. Someday soon, going with him, someday soon, and someday soon, going with him, someday soon. I love that song because it reminds me of those old days. This next song I want to sing for you. A lot of people don't know the history of it in the story, the song. And if you hear it, you'll probably say, "Oh my goodness, I know this song." I heard this song when I was real young on the Flintstones show. Yes, the Flintstones. In 1965, they did a version of this song. And it was also done by Kitty Wells. But the very first time it was ever heard was in 1954. That's right, 1954. It was written by Stuart Hamblin. It's called Let the Sun Shine In. It was done by the Methodist Church in Texas. It was done on the radio in 1954. And it was Cowboy Sunday School Church program, which means people like Gene Audrey and Roy Evans did this song. It's that old. And I'm going to do it for you because it's like one of my favorite. And they consider this like the happiest song ever written. And I think it kind of was. It's a very happy song. Okay? Here we go. My mother told me something that everyone should know. It's all about the devil, and I learned to hate him so. She says he causes trouble when you let him in the room. He will never ever leave you if your heart is filled with gloom. So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Smilers never lose, and frowners never win. So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in. When you are unhappy, the devil wears a grin, but always starts to running when the light comes pouring in. I know he'll be unhappy, 'cause I'll never wear a frown. Maybe if we keep on smiling, he'll get tired of hanging around. So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Smilers never lose, and frowners never win. So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in. If I forget to say my prayers, the devil jumps with glee. But oh, he feels so awful when he sees me on my knees. So if your life is full of trouble and you never seem to win, just open up your heart and let the sun shine in. So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Smilers never lose, and frowners never win. So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in. Let the sun shine in. That's a pretty tune and very happy and fun. And I know a lot of people, if you know people who are sick and in the nursing home and elderly, they know those songs. This song I want to sing because we did the happiest song ever done. Now it's time to do the saddest song they say was ever written. Was written in 1939 by Jimmy Davis and Charles Mitchells. Yes, some say the saddest song ever written. I don't believe it's the saddest song. A lot of moms and dads sing it to their children, this song. And you say, what's the name of it? It's called You Are My Sunshine. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, just how much I love you. Please don't take the sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, just how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. I'll always love you and make you happy if you only say the same. But if you leave me for another, you'll regret it all someday. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, just how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You told me once, dear, that you really love me and that no one else would come between. But now you left me for another, and you've shattered all my dreams. You were my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, just how much I love you. But you took my sunshine away. You've taken my sunshine away. Now this is the story. I read this to my little one when she was little. This was my daughter's favorite kitty cat. Meow, 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 meow. And she would hold him, and I would read this story to her. This book you can get anywhere. I got this copy at Goodwill Salvation Army. If you're a grandparent, you don't have a lot of money, the kids really love these stories. This story, I read my children all the classics. Maybe you're a parent and you don't have a lot of time and energy. Just plop your child down right now with me, and I'm going to read to them. I'm going to read to them. Where is my story? Puss and Boots by Charles Perrault. Puss and Boots. Far out in the countryside, there was a poor miller who died, leaving his 3 sons all that he owned. No lawyers were called in, as they would have taken everything. Instead, the sons divided the property amongst themselves. The eldest one took the mill. The second, he took the donkey. And the third, he took the miller's cat. The youngest son was unhappy at having such a poor share. My brothers can join together and earn a living, he said. But once I've eaten this cat, what else do I have? I can make a muff of his skin, but I'm surely going to die of hunger. The cat had been eavesdropping, and now he had decided to speak. Do not fret, master, he said respectfully in serious tone. Only give me a stout sack and a pair of boots to protect my feet from the brambles, and you will find that you have received the best reward. The youth thought for himself for a second. Can I trust the words of a cat? I mean, come on. A cat is talking to me. Can I trust the words of a cat? But he'd seen the cat play a lot of clever tricks and snares and catch things, and he thought, well, why not? So the cat put on his boots and slung the sack around his neck, and then he went to a place he knew of, where many rabbits came to eat. He put a quantity of bran and some thistle leaves into the sack and stretched out near as if he was a corpse. And soon a foolish young rabbit jumped into the sack, and the cat pulled the drawstring tight and killed him without mercy. Proudly, the cat took his prey to the palace and asked to speak with the king. He had decided that his master was to be the Prince of Carabas. And when he had brought He was brought to the king's apartment. He bowed very low, and he said, "Look, sire, I have a rabbit that my noble lord, the Marquis of Carabas, has commanded me to present to you." "Thank your master for me," said the king, "and tell him I am well pleased with this gift." Another time the cat carried his sack and hid himself amongst some standing corn. And when a brace of partridges ran into the sack, he drew the strings and caught them both. And against his prey, he went and brought the prey to the king, and he bowed low, and the king thanked him. And then, for 2 or 3 months, this went on, and the cat continued to bring his master's game to the king. One day, when he knew that the king would be out for a long ride, he said to his master, "If you follow my advice, your fortune will be made. You must bathe in the river at the palace that I show you, in a place where I show you, and you leave the rest to me." The Marquis of Carabas went off to bathe, and never knowing what the cat was going to do or what he wanted him to do. But no sooner had he jumped into the water, the king passed by, and the cat cried out loudly, "Help! Help! My lord, the Marquis of Carabas, he is drowning!" At this, the commotion, the king looked over at the window and of his coach, and he recognized the cat, who had often brought him game. Quickly, he commanded to his guards to stop and save the Marquis, quickly. And while they were drawing the Marquis from the river, the cat came up but to the coach and told the king and his master's clothes had been stolen by some thieves who had run off with them. But the cunning cat had hidden his clothes under a large stone. Quickly, the king commanded the servants to hurry to the palace and to fetch his own suits for the Marquis to wear. And when he was dressed, he looked kind of handsome. And, well, the king's daughter, she grew to like him very much. Without the need of any instructions from the cat, the Marquis decided, well, I'm going to flirt with the princess's daughter. And he did. And the king invited the Marquis to join them into their coach, and the cat ran before them, overjoyed that his scheme was about to work. Coming upon the mowers who were scything the meadow, "Good people," he said, "you must tell the king that the meadow belongs to the Marquis of Carabas, or you will be ground up like herbs for the pot to eat." The king stopped by his coach in the meadow and asked the mowers, "Who mowed? Whose meadow does this belong to?" "The Marquis of Carabas," they all cried together, for they'd never seen a cat talk before, and a cat told them they were going to be grounded up, so they were scared. "You have fine estate here, Marquis," the king said. "Yes, sire," the Marquis said quickly, "and it yields plenty of harvest each year." The cat, who went on before them, met some reapers. "Good people," he said, "if you do not do as I tell you, if you do not say that this belongs to the Marquis of Carabas, you will be chopped up for the pot like herbs." King came and passed and asked the reapers, "Who owned this?" "The Marquis," they all said, because again, a cat is talking with boots, and it scared them. The cat gave the same warning to everyone he met, and his daughter was astonished at the vast estates that the Marquis of Carabas had. And at last the cat came to a great castle that was commanded by a mean, ugly, nasty ogre. The richest ogre ever known. All the lands that the king had passed were this ogre's, including the castle. The cat had taken care to learn everything he could about this ogre. So now he asked to see him, saying that he had come to pay his respects. The ogre received him politely, as polite as an ogre could receive anyone. "I have been told," said the cat, "that you are able to change yourself into all sorts of amazing creatures." The ogre is proud. Of course I can do this," he says. "I've been told that you can even become a huge, great, big lion." "Of course I can." "And this is so," the ogre roughly said, and boom, became a huge lion. Roar! The cat was so scared to be near a huge lion that he was almost petrified, and he jumped up to the roof, and he skidded and slid on the tiles, and he nearly fell to his death. But when the ogre came back, he became the ogre again, once more. The cat came down and confessed his fear. I have also been told, he said, that you can take the shape of tiny little creatures. For example, a rat or even a little mouse. But I tell you, I find that almost impossible to believe. Hard to believe? You don't believe? Impossible. You'll see, cried the ogre. And he changed himself in a tiny little bitty mouse. He began to scamper on the floor, and the cat, no time lost, fell upon him and ate him in one bite. Now the king had arrived at the ogre's castle and decided to stop there, and the cat, who had heard the coach pass over the drawbridge, ran outside and said to the king, "Welcome, your majesty, to the castle of the Marquis of Carabas." "What? And does this castle belong to you too, my lord?" the Marquis said. "Come, let's go inside." And without a word, the Marquis had gave his hand in marriage to the prince. The princess and the prince were married. The Marquis, or I should say the miller's son, were married. First they came to the great hall where they had splendid banquet, and the ogre had prepared for some of his friends. But the friends that seen the king's coach, so they never entered in. Impressed with the vast wealth, the Marquis realized that his daughter was in love with him, and that it was vast lands, money, and you only have yourself to blame, he said to the king. The king said to the Marquis, "If you will not be my son-in-law." So that is the end. They married, and they lived happily ever after. That is how Puss in Boots became Puss in Boots. I want to do this one last song because it's the first song I ever sang to a little girl who is my biggest and best fan. I sang this to her when she was a wee baby, and she was so excited. And I wanted to end my first show. Adele, this is for you. Little Adele. I bless the day I found you. I want to stay around you, and so I beg you, let it be me. Don't take this heaven from one if you must cling to someone now and forever. Let it be me. Each time we meet, love, I find complete love. Without your sweet love, what would life be? So never leave me lonely.